Hi everybody, I hope you're having a great day. In this video, I'm going to be covering Rai. Now, he made his very first appearance in Magnus, Robot Fighter, issue number 5, that was released in November of 1991. There have been a lot of individuals to carry the title of Rai, with the very first one being named Shiro Yagami, and the most recent one actually being Rai XI, aka Rai XI. But for the sake of this video, I'll primarily focus on the most current and popular Rai, who is Rai X, aka Rai X. His real name is unknown, but we do know that he's a very powerful cyborg from the far future, and that he typically has all white or blue eyes with long black hair, as well as pale white skin. Now, Rai's extremely advanced cybernetic body gives him low-level superhuman strength with moderate superhuman speed and agility. And I'd say that this borderlines on vast speed, although I fall short of saying that he's a true speedster. Now, this is because he has the unique ability to oscillate his molecules at an extremely high rate, literally being able to vibrate his body and the space around him at such a high rate that he causes devastating effects to anything that surrounds him. Rai also has the ability to fly, although this can deplete his energy pretty quickly. He's also known to have a moderate healing factor, being able to heal up from near lethal wounds relatively quickly. And as a cherry on top, he's also one of the best hand-to-hand combatants and swordsmen in the Valiant universe, usually preferring to use katana even over firearms. Now, just around the turn of the 41st century, at 4001 AD, the nation of Japan had long outgrown its outside borders. The country would expand and turn its islands into a massive interconnected artificial marvel, then taking another astounding technological leap and lifting off from the Earth itself to become a huge floating, self-sustaining nation called New Japan. This amazing floating city-state was divided into various sectors, being inhabited by humans and positrons, who were human-like android AI. Matter of fact, the leader of New Japan was actually a mysterious AI named Father, and it was the one who had established a long lineage of guardian heroes for the nation that he called Rai. Rai X was the 10th of these, and he was born to a human woman who was the chosen quote-unquote bride of Father, and he would be imbued with technology and artificial intelligence which would make him the perfect warrior, guardian, and weapon. However, Father never told Rai about the previous Rais or his half-human origins. Nevertheless, Rai X would quickly become a legend among the citizens, with some people fearing him and others almost viewing him as a deity. And despite New Japan having a long period of peace, there would be enemies that would arise. These anti-technology extremists named Raddies would be implicated in the first murder in many years. This would lead to Rai being sent to investigate what happened. And while researching alongside a young girl named Lula Lee, he would come into the crosshairs of a secret agent named Spylock, as well as a centuries-old inventor and clone expert named Dr. Silk. The confrontation would lead to Silk telling Rai that he was not the first of his kind, and that he also had a half-human nature. Not to mention that the murder that kickstarted this investigation itself was mysteriously Rai's own mother. Understandably, this would lead to Rai confronting Father about his lies, and determining that his manipulations needed to be stopped. Rai would ultimately enter into a tepid alliance with Spylock and Dr. Silk to make plans to overthrow Father. They would even gather more allies, such as the monstrous Isaac and the emancipated positron named Momo, as well as the banished 8th Rai. X would even have to quell the strife between Raddies and positrons so that they could be on the same page to declare war against Father. But when their military campaign began, it would fall apart due to the betrayal of Dr. Silk, who had hoped to get into Father's good graces. This led to Father being able to prepare a powerful robot named Rai XI, aka XI, who would then go on to nearly destroy our hero Rai X and cast him out of New Japan down to the Earth. Rai would then spend a good period down on Earth in a weakened state, until he made an alliance with some waste-dwelling humans, some of which included a powerfully built man named Lemur and the Eternal Warrior. our hero would gradually regain his strength and begin plotting with his new allies on how he can liberate the citizens of New Japan. In his new campaign against Father, Rai would actually be instructed to an ancient powerful war machine called the X-O Manowar Mech-Armor Class, with the Eternal Warrior telling him that it would give him a better shot at victory. And as Rai would pilot this huge mech up towards New Japan, Father would activate a mysterious Komodo Protocol, which would transform the entire city-state into a huge mechanical flying dragon. So to stand a chance at all, Rai would pilot the mech inside of the dragon, flying as close as he could to Father's AI computer center. And when there, he would be joined by all of his allies, as well as other quote-unquote criminals that Father had labeled as undesirables, having an epic battle in the sky. This would lead to Rai having a rematch with XI. But due to the sacrifice of his new buddy Lemur, he would get past him and slice Father to pieces. Many months would then go by, with Rai serving as the ruler of what was left of New Japan. Humans and positrons gathering rubble from the fallen Sky City to help rebuild their society. However, when swarms of nanites began resisting Rai and the people from rebuilding, we learned that Father was not completely destroyed, and that he had various backups of himself all over the Earth. This would lead to missions to take out all of the remnants of Father, with Rai even teaming up with his very first modern predecessor, being a young boy named Raijin. Together, they would set off to destroy Father before he could reclaim all of his full power. Now, for his powers and abilities, and his influence on the Valiant universe, for my 1 to 10 rating, I'll give Rai X a rating of 7, which is a master rating. I hope everyone enjoyed this video. I'll talk to you next time. Be sure to like, subscribe, and join the new Sage.